Hey guys, welcome and/or welcome back to my channel. My name is Leah Catherine and this is Leah Sees Movies, and for the first time in a very long time, I'm actually talking about a movie because movie theaters are open and I went to one and it was amazing. I saw A Quiet Place Part 2, and this movie in particular is kind of a big deal for me because back in 2020 my pre-ordered tickets to A Quiet Place were refunded when theaters were shut down, and that was kind of my first I think this COVID thing is gonna last a while moment. Like, that was like my moment of realization a little bit. So finally getting to see the movie in a movie theater with a mask on, but still, was kind of amazing. It felt like a little bit of a return to normalcy. So I saw A Quiet Place Part 2, written and directed by John Krasinski, starring Emily Blunt, Millicent Simmons, Noah Jupe, and Cillian Murphy, the man who has haunted my nightmares since 2005. I find him terrifying. He hasn't done anything. I think he's a great actor. if I saw him in an alley, I'd run in the other direction. I don't know. A Quiet Place Part 2, I think, is as well directed, as well edited, as tense as the first movie, but unfortunately I do think the characters got a little stupider in this movie. I think in the first movie, A Quiet Place, like, I walked out of that movie still thinking about it. I kept being like, whoa, Emily Blunt was amazing. Oh my gosh, the end when Krasinski says I love you. Like, I really felt for these characters. I felt like not only were they a really touching family, but as a survival movie, I was like, everything they did in this movie, I was like, hell yeah. Except for having a baby. I have so many issues with post-apocalyptic children. I think when you're fighting for your life, maybe leave room for Jesus. Abstinence is the best policy. Why risk it? I don't get it. So even though that part of the film, and obviously prepping for the baby is a huge part of it, but aside from that, I was like, this family makes sense to me. They are doing things that I would do if I had the will to survive an apocalypse, which I don't. And in this movie, I felt like the family made a lot more rookie errors. They made a lot more of those, like, don't go in the basement, don't go making noise, why are you investing? They just made a lot of really dumb moves in this movie that really bothered me. So yeah, on that note, I found it a little bit less fulfilling because it took me out of the movie because I was like, you guys were so smart last time. Why all of a sudden are you doing these things? But that being said, I still thought the monsters were efficiently scary. Like I said, the editing was great, so whenever you would see them in your peripheral, and the fact that, you know, Millicent Simmons is, I hope Hollywood is on the phone. I hope she has jobs lined up because she's such a great actor. She has so much emotion on her face, and she definitely has action star potential, because when that girl's facing a monster, I believed it. Like, I was like, this girl is doing her best, but at the same time, her deafness builds while making her still an interesting character. But when we are in her perspective, when there's no sound, and, you know, we're seeing this character have a moment of rest only for us to visually see, holy crap, there's a monster in the background, and, you know, we're just sitting there going, oh god, turn around, because she doesn't know they're coming. All of that is still so engaging and so, like, edge of your seat. In the middle of the action sequences, they had me. It's in some of the quieter moments when they were strategizing that you'd go, that strategy doesn't make sense. Why are you doing that? So I kept kind of going in and out of, like, being really invested and then being taken out and being like, y'all are being kind of dumb. And then they just kept killing the black people. I was a little peeved about that one. Jimon Hunsu, Mike, I'm so sorry if I'm saying his name wrong. He deserves better. I won't spoil it, but he deserves a lot better. Like, they gave him stupid characters like, oh, we need things to happen, we need plot things to happen, we need the monsters to show up. How do we do that? Let's make him stupid. And that is not appealing to me as a viewer. I saw someone else on Twitter remark that the movie saved time by not having a third act, and I think that's a pretty accurate description of it. The end of the first movie ends, you know, with Emily Blunt picking up the gun after they realize that using her cochlear implant as a sound attack worked, and they're like, oh hell yeah. And so the movie ends, like, abruptly, but in a way of like, okay, she's about to go kick some ass. Like, we know exactly what's about to happen. This movie is a tight 90 minutes. which ordinarily would be a good thing. I know people are clamoring for the return of short films, but a lot of things that could have been shortened aren't, which is weird in a 90 movie. Like, you're like, okay, maybe they're drawing it out just to hit that time limit, but then when the movie ends and it's so abrupt and there's still so many loose threads that need to be tied up, you're like, wait, why did we have all those old scenes that were a little too long just to end like in media res in the middle of the action with the family not all together and all of these threads not tied up, just to go, will there be a third movie? Of course there's gonna be a third movie. You didn't finish the second movie. So that was a little irksome. I think it's not like horrifying. Like, there is some kind of arc to all of the characters, the children especially. Millicent, I would think, is the star by far, but Noah Jupe also gets his moments in this movie. I just felt like it was very abrupt. Like, the movie ended and I went, oh, okay, I guess it's over now. And like I said, unlike the first one where I left the movie being like, oh, that girl was amazing, holy crap, Emily Blunt in the bathtub, that, like, I feel like I had a lot more things that I was excited about that I wanted to chew on. I was like, let me go rewatch this movie because I want to see all those little scenes again. Whereas this one felt, even though it was very engaging as a thriller, as a horror film, I was so much less invested in the characters. I kind of walked down and went, okay, that was fun. I got a little scare. I had a little moment of admiration for the characters, but it didn't stick with me in quite the same way, and that was a little disappointing. But I would still say it's worth, I would say anything is worth going to the theater, to be completely honest. After a year and a half without it, if they released Blue's Clues, the movie, I'd be like, let's all go see it in theaters. But genuinely, this is a movie that, with the horror aspects, that is best seen on a big screen where you can really get the impact of the sound design. But I do think it is a bit inferior to the first one. However, go see it, go see everything. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. If you don't want to do that but you've watched this video, thank you. I still really appreciate you. You can follow me on Twitter at Leah Sees Movies, and I'll catch you next time. Peace. Okay, but seriously, why would you want to live in this world? Like, I'm not trying to be funny. There's just a scene where they go to a pharmacy and there's like quite a lot of medication, and one of those things will kill you. Just take a few pills, drink some water, go to sleep. What? Why would you bring a child into this world? Like, first of all, you can't really tell a kid to shut up until they're like, what, 5, 6? I mean, you can tell a kid to be quiet, but will they get it? Will they understand you will die? No, they won't, and we already see that because that's how you lost your other youngest child. Just do hand stuff. Who's trying to have a, what life is this baby gonna have? Couldn't be me. Tell you that right now. I live down the street from a CVS. If any sound hunting monsters come by, I'm raiding that thing, going to sleep forever. I will never, ever, ever be a post-apocalyptic survivor. Wouldn't be me. Hey, bang.